We're watching Bears Now here on the Callin app, listening, I should say, watching on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe on Callin, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. This episode originated on that app on Tuesday. Every live show after our YouTube and Rumble stream on Tuesdays, 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. I'm going to take some calls here in just a moment, but just want to get into a few training camp storylines to monitor, and then we'll hop onto the caller line. I see Richard already waiting, and anyone else who wants to hop in and ask me your questions as well. Number one storyline, Justin Fields. Obviously, we're all on Justin Fields' watch as we wait and see what this new offense looks like and how Fields performs in training camp, into the preseason, and obviously into the regular season. Can he excel in this new offense? Can Luke get the best out of him? Does he have enough around him as well? I think he is going to impress this year. I really do. I think this offense is going to cater to him, a lot of play action, a lot of bootlegs, let him throw the ball downfield, play to his strengths, unlike what Matt Nagy and the prior regime did, which was do a lot of 5-step drops and curl routes and just stupid stuff that did not benefit any young quarterback, much less a quarterback who has different strengths like Justin Fields has. So obviously all eyes are on Fields at training camp as we get to House all next week. Storyline number 2. For me, you could go two ways. It's either Robert Quinn watch or it's the offensive line. I'll do the offensive line and then I'll talk Robert Quinn. Look, when we ended minicamp, the offensive line was as follows. Braxton Jones at left tackle, Cody Whitehair at left guard, Lucas Patrick at center, Sam Mustipher at right guard, and then Larry Borum at right tackle with Tevin Jenkins playing with the second-team offense. Is Jenkins a starter when camp begins? Is he a backup? Does Braxton Jones hold on to that job at left tackle? Is the starting right guard on this roster right now? Will it be Sam Mustipher? Will it be Zach Thomas, the rookie out of San Diego State? Ja'Tyre Carter, could he be in the mix there as well? I think the offensive line still has major question marks, pretty much outside of center and left guard. And it's not like Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair are just all-pro type of talents. They're good players, but the fact that those are your most proven commodities, it leaves a lot to be desired. So I'm keeping an eye on the offensive line because it ties back into storyline number 1, Justin Fields. How does he perform? Well, you got to protect him, at least at an adequate level, so keeping an eye on that. Do you trust the Bears' offensive line as it's currently constructed? Give me a Y for yes, N for no. Type in the comments on the Callin app or on YouTube, depending on where you're listening or watching to this episode. All right, storyline number 3, and then I'll open it up to the callers here on the Callin app. Robert Quinn. Number 1, does he report? Number 2, does he get traded at some point, whether he reports or not? I think those are the two storylines. Does he want to be here? Does he want to be a part of this football team? New regime, they're going younger. Maybe this team could surprise people and win more than people think, but on the surface, it's not a contender. He's 32 years old, probably would like to contend at this point in his career. He's got 3 years, over $50 million left on his contract. So obviously Robert Quinn watch continues. Did not participate in OTAs or minicamp. Those were not excused absences, according to Matt Eberflus. He did not seem happy about that. So we're going to see if he reports. And if he does, is it him legitimately showing up ready to go, or is it just him avoiding fines? We'll find out. We'll see. And obviously, if he doesn't report, the trade rumors are going to continue to ramp up. So those are 3 storylines heading into training camp. Be sure to subscribe on Callin as we're about to take all of your calls. Chatsports.com/BearsCallin. For those watching on YouTube, that's the link that'll redirect you. You can also download the app on iOS or Android. For those listening on Callin, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free. We'll continue to have these live shows. All right, we're going to open up the calls now. We got Richard, who's first up on the line. Richard, welcome in. You can unmute yourself in the bottom right-hand corner when you're ready. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, Harrison? Glad
Good.
to see you back.
Hey, appreciate it.
I've been watching a lot of these ESPNs and all these sports shows and stuff, and they're all saying that the Bears are going to only have a number 1 draft choice or number 2. I don't see it. I see a lot of talent on this team that I see maybe we might have a 10th or 11th choice in the first round.
Yeah.
But I don't see a first or a second.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been saying that all along. I don't think this Bears roster is a top 10 roster or something like that. But what people are forgetting is this team last year had the second hardest schedule in the NFL, an incompetent offensive coaching staff and head coach, and 3 different quarterbacks played, and they still went 6-11 and left 2 or 3 wins on the table. Easily could have beaten Pittsburgh. Easily could have beaten Baltimore. They were in that game with San Francisco. Now, obviously, you got to win them, but you still won 6. And yeah, you don't have Khalil Mack. Well, he only played 7 games last year, and you've certainly lost a couple other vets. Allen Robinson isn't here. Well, he didn't play that well last year anyway. Sure, the talent might be a tick less on paper than what it was last year, but I think the coaching staff can only be better than what it was. And I think a full offseason of Justin Fields being the starter and learning this new offense should benefit him as well. And, oh, by the way, the schedule's a lot easier. So I'm kind of with you. I don't think the raw talent, 1 to 53 is going to be incredible, but I think this team's going to be scrappy. I think they're going to play hard, and I think some of these young players are going to contribute a lot more than some of the national media thinks.
Yeah, because I feel the same way. Because football is not a one-man team; it's a whole team sport. And if they get the whole team to buy into their system, I think we can see a lot better things than we think.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way: I think there's a better chance the Bears make the playoffs than have the number 1 overall pick. Not saying I would pick them to make the playoffs, but I don't think this will be the worst team in the NFL. I mean, you think of like Seattle and Atlanta; those teams aren't even trying to compete this year, and you're telling me they're going to be better than or have more wins than the Bears. I don't see that as a possibility. But I appreciate the call, Richard. Got a few more to get to here in just a moment. We'll go to Joel in a second. Joel, before you unmute yourself, let me ask the audience, how many wins for the Bears this year? Fill in the blank. The Bears will win blank games this season. Go ahead and let me know in the comments. All right, Joel, welcome in. Whenever you're ready, hit that mic button in the bottom right-hand corner, and we can have you on. What's up?
Hello, Harrison. I'm here to ask this question. I saw this on the mock draft. I don't know who made it, but it said the Bears are gonna have the 2nd overall pick and take Jackson Smith and Jigba. Do you think that are you that high to take a wide receiver at number 2?
It's a good question. I think I actually broke that down on a video. I think it was an ESPN mock. It wasn't Kuiper or McShay. It was Matt Miller, I believe. If the Bears are picking number 2, that means a couple of things. Here are the different options. 1, Justin Fields did not improve this year, and you've got real question marks about him moving forward. 2, he got injured, and Trevor Siemian played all year, and this team won 3 football games or something like that. Or 3, this team was just bad completely. The defense took another step back. The pieces around Fields were just poor, and they lost a bunch of close games and went 4-13 or whatever. If you're going to have the number 2 overall pick, as much as this team could use a receiver, I'd probably go elsewhere. I mean, if Will Anderson's on the board out of Alabama, I would probably take him to rush the passer. Offensive tackle options, I'm sure a couple will emerge that are out there. If Fields really struggles, you could be in play for a quarterback if you're picking number 2. So I like Smith and Jigba, but a receiver at number 2 kind of feels like a little bit rich. I think trading down could be an option, though, then maybe trade down for a receiver. So maybe that's a possibility.
I agree. But are you if Justin Fields is dead bad, awful this year, are you willing to trade him? I know not. This doesn't come up very often, but
I mean, if he completely stinks, he's not going to have much trade value. But if you're set on, say the Bears after the season go 3-14, Fields struggles, doesn't play well, and you're and the organization decides to draft a new quarterback, then sure, you could flip him for a 4th, 5th round pick, whatever it is. But you would only trade him if you're drafting a new QB. That would be the only scenario where he would get traded. Here is Scott next up on the caller line. What's up, Scott? Welcome into the show.
Hey, how's it going? I got one question. So when I go to college and stuff, it's been my dream to be a commentator and stuff like that. And I was just wondering, how did you start with what you're doing? Because I want to be something like what you're doing.
I won't go super long, and you can DM me, and I can give you a longer answer later at HGramNFL. You can DM me here on Callin, actually, if you want, or on Twitter or Instagram. I mean, basically in college, I just took every opportunity I had. I don't know how old you are, but did some internships. I was lucky that we had a campus radio station I was able to kind of get a start in there. Did some stuff. So I would say other things you can do, like if you're not going to college or whatever, is start your own podcast, start your own blog, start your own YouTube channel, and just post consistent content. I'm sure you got a lot of stuff going on, but you got to make people care about what you have to say. I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. And I think a consistent way of doing that. I mean, you can even do little things like, with TikTok emerging, like post a 1-minute video every single day about the Bears or whatever you want to talk about. So post consistent content and make people care about what you have to say, whatever that is. Try to have something nichey and brandy around your personality.
Yeah, and then I know you're busy, so last question. Do you think Darnell Mooney could be top 15 this year?
Oh, man, it's possible. I mean, he's getting disrespected a lot, so he's putting that work in. Man, where do you think he is right now? Top 25, somewhere in there?
I'd say 25, maybe top 20 at most.
He's like fringe top 20. I think he could, man. I mean, if he goes out there and catches 90 balls for 1,200 yards and has 7 or 8 touchdowns, he's going to be in that conversation. I think it's a possibility for sure, but he's still, he's going to have to go out and prove it, obviously.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. Appreciate you calling. Let's see. We got Bo on the line, and no other callers waiting, so if you want to hop in, go ahead and hop in on the line. Bo, welcome in, and what's up? Oh, you're still muted, Bo. Bottom right-hand corner. There you go. What's up?
Hey, Harrison. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I just thought we were looking at surprise cut candidates. Would Angelo Blackson hit that list with all the reasons coming out?
Maybe. It's possible. They're just so thin on the defensive line. Like, they would really have to have, reasons to just get rid of him. But obviously this accusation, which came out yesterday, I'm reading more about it now. I saw like a headline about it. Kind of wanted more news to pop out before I commented too heavily on it. I mean, obviously the Bears are going to look into this, and if this domestic accusation has any legs to it, then he's going to be in some trouble there. So I think they'll let that play out. Obviously, if there's if more evidence comes out and it's not looking good, then he's going to be in trouble. If that story goes away and the accusations don't have much to it, he's probably going to be here. I mean, he might start for this team. I mean, the defensive tackle position is not a position of strength for Chicago right now. So definitely something to keep an eye on as this story continues to unfold, I would say.
If you had to say right now, over under, is it going to be a longer suspension than the Deshaun Watson clickbait?
For who? For Blackson?
Yeah, Blackson.
Oh, I mean, there's way more that tangible stuff out there on Watson, right? I mean, so I'd have to say less, but who knows? We'll see.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate the question. All right, we got Paleo here hopping on the line. What's up? Welcome in. Unmute yourself whenever you're ready.
Hey, Harrison. I had a question about Justin Fields' progress and him handling all the hate in the media that the media is giving to the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Fields is doing a good job, tuning out all this media doubt from the national media and stuff? Because I know in the past, Trubisky would often cave under pressure from getting chastised by the media and stuff. Do you feel like Justin Fields has been better about that so far in terms of just putting in his work and just tuning out all the outside noise?
I do. He's not a big social media guy as it is. I don't view. There's these athletes out there that search their own names, right, on social media. Like Kevin Durant, for example, is a big search your own name guy. Now, obviously, he's a superstar, so it hasn't impacted him too much. But I don't think Fields reads the headlines and the stories. I think he's aware of it all, but I think he's pretty good at tuning it out. I think it's a motivator for him. You listen to him talk, and you're like, okay, this guy's pretty even keeled, right? He doesn't get too high, too low. I think he's got the right approach, and all his teammates and coaches have raved about the work ethic this offseason. So now it's just about performing, man. He's doing all the right stuff. Can he make it? Can he make the plays? I mean, that's the question. I think he's got all the intangibles and all the work, all that stuff you want from a franchise quarterback. Mm-hmm. But now it comes to producing on Sundays. So that's what we're going to see and find out this year.
Yeah, I agree. As long as he keeps up that fearless mentality and just keeps tuning out outside noise, I think he's going to shine. I got high hopes for him.
Exactly. I'm with you there. Appreciate the question. Appreciate you hopping in as well. Again, follow us on Callin, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. Everybody listening on the Callin app, hit that subscribe button, and we will continue to have weekly shows over here. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe over there, and also subscribe on YouTube as well.